It's session 8,
Mm-hmm.
and as Talek said, last time we covered the 7 weeks between the end of the last adventure and the start of fire season. You guys underwent training, you had some social engagements, the duck was power leveled. Now, fire season is upon you. The city is all in a hustle. There are nomad camps gathered on the grazing fields of the old city, and in camps scattered beyond Bad Side, on the other side of the river from New Pavis. All the White Bull affiliated tribes are mustering to prepare to uh, ride into Dragon Pass and drive out the last lunar elements and probably make the White Bull king of the place if they can. But not all of them. Surma, what's your uncle's name again?
Basro.
Masro?
Basro.
Basro. Basro has been appointed commander of a mixed group of animal riders, Sundome Templars, Orlanthi mercenaries, and miscellaneous weirdos from the White Bull Society, who have been tasked with going down the Zola Fell River this season and confronting the lunar holdouts in Corfu, their port on the Southern Sea.
Mm.
Pulling up a map now. Alright, I just posted a link to a map of the whole length of the Zolafell River. You guys are in New Pavis. And to assist Basro's expedition to the south, Argrath has given you a mission. You are to traverse the length of the Zolafell River, going north first from New Pavis to the Leaping Place, then south down the full length of it, for the ultimate goal of finding magic to confront the great and terrible construct the lunar magicians who defend Corfu maintain down there, the watchdog of Corfu. Argrath has given you a lead. He has told you that along the Zolafell, somewhere, he can't say where exactly, you'll find the Cleansed One, a brew who found redemption in the powers of water and has washed away its chaos taint. He believes that the Cleansed One possesses secrets that will allow you to uh, disrupt, override, or otherwise deal with the Lunar Magician's control of the Watchdog.
Mm.
And you can know for a fact that the Cleansed One is somewhere along the length of the Zolafell, because any priest of the Zolafell can only stay away from its banks for a day or two at a time,
Mm.
depending on their position in the cult. The Cleansed One is somewhere along the length of the river. So, if you walk the whole length of it, you'll find him eventually. That's the theory, anyway.
Mm.
To assist you, and for Argrath's own inscrutable reasons, you'll be accompanied by Gabaryanga, the blue man from the far south. Gabaryanga's been given a suit of bronze scale, primarily, from the city armory, and he'll be riding a white sable, well, a black sable, rather, that he has named Afidapa.
Nice.
We've covered the more long-term preparations you guys made over the course of sea season. Is
I
there any basic material stuff you want to line up before you set out on this journey, which could take several weeks?
No, I don't think material. I did want to run that by all of you to make sure. Do nights get particularly cold in Prax? Should I make sure I bring stuff to start fires?
Not in fire season.
Okay.
I mean, you'll probably want stuff to start fires, sure. That would
Yeah.
be standard
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
anyone traveling in the wild, but it's the summer season now.
All right. Additionally, Zolafel is freshwater, right? I should still bring a couple
Yes.
canteens of water just to be on the safe side, but probably can just refill canteens and don't need to like bring, whole gallon jugs or whatever, right?
You've got a water skin maker right next to you.
That's true.
Yeah, between the river and Cacti, you can sort of hand wave some of that, unless you make long journeys away from the river.
Hmm. Sounds good. Finally, in terms of like food, uh, there's
Expecting
plenty.
dwarf food.
Yeah, plenty of like fish, I'm guessing, and wild game around the Zulafel, so I wouldn't have to take much in the form of rations. Could probably just hunt and scavenge for the
Yes, you
most
don't
part.
need to scavenge for Talak because they will be supplied with several cans of ration paste,
Mm-hmm.
which is even less palatable for humans than the normal dwarf food, but
Mm-hmm.
just a few cans will last a rock dwarf physiology several seasons, not
Right.
just the one you're committed to.
Hope
And
they don't lose the can opener.
and finally,
Well, that's an issue, isn't it?
yeah,
Or the
finally,
cans, for that matter.
I've got like knives and stuff that we can use to open those cans. Don't worry. But finally, is there a section in the book that lists off like the kind of stuff that you can take to prepare for a journey? I scrolled through it and couldn't see one because I'm dumb. But yeah. Or is this more like a narrative thing where I can just say I'm prepared? Like in Dungeon World, you can just say I've got adventure supplies and they can be anything and I'm ready.
It's not that nitty gritty a system when it comes to like day-to-day supplies. Or
Okay.
at least that's not how we're going to play it. So
All right.
don't sweat like stocking a certain number of pounds of dried meat.
Okay, cool. This
We're
isn't.
not playing Oregon.
Yeah, I was about to say this isn't fucking Oregon Trail. Okay, good. Well,
But
Surma,
in terms of like standard prices for a variety of goods, including clothes for various weather and like the price of a boat or a riding mule or something like
Mhm.
that, that is in the equipment and wealth section, which starts. Well, the relevant section starts on page 408 of the core.
got it. All right. Well, then, suffice to say, I've prepared as best I can of things I want to mention just for the record, in case they come up, and I think it would be funny to Chekhov's gun. Is someone brought quite a bit of rope just in case we need to like tie people up or get people out of the fish people out of the water if they fall into the river, things like that. Someone brought some spare knives and other things just to skinning knives and other useful knife tools to make sure that they can do those kinds of things, and the various other things that you would expect somebody who's an experienced soldier to bring on anything. So yeah.
I have a question about the mission.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we're going to be traveling the entire length of the river, starting by going north, right?
Yes.
So
The
where
furthest one. Go
precisely
ahead.
do they define the Zolafel as starting in the north? Because we could be going all the way to Dagori Inkarth.
No, it's defined extremely precisely at Leaping Place Falls.
Yeah.
That is the northern end of the Zola Fell. The river beyond that is the his various tributaries.
Got it.
Yeah. Another
It's probably
thing.
a question Potov asked too, because none of us appear to be river people.
Yeah, indeed. Another.
Yes, we'll say for narrative's sake, you're all discussing the finer points at the tables of the Blind Lamp Club.
Yeah.
Gabaryanga is there. The black elf bartender is dispensing weird foaming drinks made from pureed fungi. There are spastic Trollkin go-go dancers.
Nice.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bartender is his drugs are fucking expensive. Even with only a 3-way cut, I don't have enough to buy more.
One thing I do want to do really quick is that thing I established last episode, Zeus, talk to the null before we set out and before the timeline gets too fast, just it progresses too far, and hopefully that scene will be pretty quick.
Well, to do that, you'd have to go all the way to Sun County.
That's true. Is that on the way on our journey?
Yes.
Will we
you
cross
will
it?
pass through
Okay.
Sun County on the southern leg of the journey.
All right, let me know when we get there. Just remind me. Make note. Everybody help. Jenner has ADHD and she needs to have this scene.
Yeah, that will probably not be till next session.
Okay.
She will pass through the Sundome Temple.
Sorry about that. Do continue.
So, as you're discussing things, Gabar Yanga seems to know his way around long journeys through potentially hostile areas and military campaigns. And since he doesn't know much about the actual lay of the land around here, he doesn't try to give advice on specifics, but one thing he does bring up is a group of 6, even with obvious armor and weapons, will ward off some sorts of danger and potentially attract others. The White Bull has given us enough support. I expect we could pick up troops if we wished. But that a larger group has its own downsides. Do we want to attempt to bring on hirelings?
Let me make a battle check to see
Sure.
if that would be a good thing or a bad thing. So, well, can I augment? Should I augment? It's kind of overpowered to augment. My battle is ridiculous, but I'll augment it. I've just got to decide.
Never feel bad about overpowered rolls.
Also,
You're
I've
not
heard.
overpowered until you're
everything.
rolling for like 300%.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to level up. I'll do that after I'm done rolling this. What should I augment it with? Any suggestions, people?
Homeland lore, prax or customs prax might.
Good idea. But I'll fail that augment. But let's do it.
Well, then do it the reverse way. Roll battle as an augment to your homeland practice.
Okay, here we go. Roll 87. Well.
Alright, just roll homeland prax then. No augment.
Alright,
bonus.
no augment. Where's Homeland Prax? Hold on, I just gotta look at where that is.
Should be knowledge.
Homeland Lore Own 34. Great! Love to see it. Here we go. Time to fail another roll. I have no idea. Nope. Okay, yeah. Surma has no idea. Glad to see. Jenna rolling dice continues. Surma looks uncertain, and she says, it could be good or bad either way. I think an addition, I can't weigh in too competently on this since I flubbed those rolls, but
What about Talak? Talak's from here and he has
Yeah.
good battle.
yeah, Surma looks to Talak, but then says it's more of a drain on resources to have more people, but more people is a discouragement for aggression. So it's kind of it's just consider that.
Okay, I'm just going to roll. Although, what could I augment battle with? Because my battle isn't quite. Let's see. What runes could be appropriate?
Well, battle's a knowledge skill. It's fire.
Man rune
Well,
would also apply.
Okay, I'm not particularly good at any of those. I'm just going to do battle by itself.
Off to a great start.
Okay, Talak,
What was that roll exactly for now?
That was battle.
Oh boy.
I think Talak is probably going to get just completely bogged down in the minutia of the logistics and trying to do an optimization curve and solve this
You keep
with
making
calculus.
legit plans that rely on dwarf tunnels that you're not allowed to talk to the surfacers about, and then have to clam up and think of reroutes that also rely on dwarf infrastructure that you're not allowed to talk about, and so you end up just sort of stuttering through this without contributing anything.
Okay, well, we don't have any roles to guide us, but I do think Photov wants to hire at least like 2 to 3 warriors to cover him if he has to cast a huge spell, because that takes multiple rounds during which he could be attacked.
Here's a thought. After watching all this comedy of I mean, I want to see if I join the comedy actually. Can Cacti use the little knowledge she got of Funrit to maybe contribute, like, whether or not it would actually be necessary for this destination that we're heading to?
We're not heading to Funrit.
Yeah, Fonrit's on the other side of the ocean. It wouldn't apply.
At all.
Yeah. Your homeland lore might work, though.
For New Pavis or for Frax in general?
Either.
Okay. Cha then. What can I amplify this with? Would honor apply since it
Yes.
is combat related? Okay.
Mhm.
Roll.
All right.
No
Everyone's
augment.
doing so great today. I love it.
That's fine.
Failure,
no augment.
failure, fumble, failure.
No augment is fine. Here's the lore roll.
All right. Just
Hooray.
under the
Oh,
wire.
that was close.
Fantastic.
That was so close. Oof.
Well, Cocti, as an elf, you don't know a ton about planning mounted expeditions, but you do know a bit about maneuvering through the wastes and along the river basin in a protective way.
Mhm.
And the trade-off is this. If you have a lot of people, it's a lot more difficult to hide. You'll scare off the little threats, but there's a lot of war bands with more than 10 people in these wastes, you know?
Mhm.
If you have a large group, that can be an attractor on its own to something really mean. And it's a lot more difficult to hide.
What are the numerical cutoffs for those? Like large group, small group?
Anything more than 10 is probably going to attract significant attention,
So
especially if
essentially-
everyone's mounted.
So essentially, we could hire 4 people, maybe, unless do our mounts count as like? Do we
No.
6 and our mounts count as 12?
Don't count the mounts.
Okay.
Unless they have int or for some reason.
Yeah, but even if they have int, people wanting to attack us probably wouldn't see that from a distance.
Mhm.
I was still wondering because, you know, being in Prax, I assume the Praxian riders would consider whether or not the mounts add any value. You know, if there's something that they can secure.
In
or
Prax,
capture.
the riders will be more interested in capturing the mounts than taking any of you alive.
Also,
Yeah.
I'm assuming in Prax the assumption is just that people will have mounts with them because nobody wants to march that
The-
far.
Yeah.
Not necessarily so much along the river itself, where there are roads along the riversides and you know, farms and such, and there's a lot of boat traffic along the river. But yes, anyone not traveling along the Zolafell itself is either mounted or extremely brave.
Okay.
So, I guess Kaki will go ahead and mention that in her experience, patrols of Aldrami don't really seem to attract attentions if they are numbering less than 10. So I'll assume that the same rule holds true outside of the forest area, the grove area, and suggest that we only hire up to 4 people if we're going to hire anybody at all.
Okay. Yeah.
I still like the idea of hiring a couple people.
Yeah.
All right. You are aware that Varish would be interested in work.
I was literally going to ask, and he put together a couple of
Isn't that,
toughs.
is that the guy who had his partner abandon him or something? The
Mm.
sad, lonely man?
Yes.
I mean, we saw that he found some fun, you know. At the
Yeah,
last
he's
party,
he's
so it's
moved
fine.
on.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Good.
Surma.
But still, he might need something to do. Though I don't want him to take all the glory because I need to
Well,
impress
here's the
Autograph
thing.
pretty badly.
Here's the thing: if we take Varish along with us, that means that Varish cannot accompany Surma's uncle, which is
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's a
true.
good point.
I was
Surma's
Good point.
uncle has lots of warriors.
Also, it might get him away from his love for a little bit. It might do him some good to get out of the city.
I mean, depends on whether or not he's still having fun. I don't know.
My
The
understanding.
answer is, if you ask him, Varish would be interested, and yes, he can put together a few other toughs.
Yeah.
As long as they don't steal all the glory from us.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's an option. I
like
assume
getting
that
help.
either Surma or Cacti would volunteer like the information of, hey,
Good.
you know,
Yeah.
we do have a mercenary friend that recently joined our Graph's forces, that like both forces, so we could hire Varish Morkala.
Varish is a Stormbull Llama Rider.
Yeah.
He can pull a Bison Rider and
Nice.
a Rhinoceros Rider.
Nice. Thank you, friend. Sorry for. I hope we're not going to take you away from your new partner? Question mark. Too long, but I'm sure you're going to.
Loranella isn't my partner.
Okay, good.
Loranella doesn't have partners for more than a week or two at a time.
Starmer just assumes anyone is with another person is madly in love with them.
Well, to be fair, Surma did witness like some possessiveness at the party,
Yeah.
but it must have just been like it's my turn to have fun. You go off and
Yeah,
find
yeah.
out today.
Surma failed a lot of rolls that night, Potov, so she's running on a lot of dumb assumptions. She chuckles and says, "Oh yeah, of course. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy yourself on this wild adventure that we're about to undertake. Thanks for being willing to come along with us."
I like a good excuse to ride the range and get into a fight.
So we've got a total of 9 then?
Yes.
Alright.
I have to be honest.
Three warrior style riders.
I have
Do
to
we
be.
want to... Oh,
I have to be honest, Varish. I'm really looking forward to fighting alongside you, being in battle with a friend, a comrade, again. Not that I haven't been before, but just you as well. She smiles. That's all, sorry.
So, what I wanted to ask was... hold on. I need to reconfigure. Okay. Do we want to add another person for an even 10?
We might need a backup healer, so Philomena.
Photo has heal.
Yeah,
And
still.
so does Gabaryanga.
Okay, well then I didn't realize that. Cool.
You do not believe in me? I'm sad now.
I just didn't want you to.
Cacti and Philomena both do have heal.
I just didn't want you to be the only one carrying it. I know.
I have repair in case anything really important gets damaged.
Nice.
I mean,
See, everything is fine. See, everything is covered.
Healing is very common in the system.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I've gone on raids where we didn't bring enough healers, and I know what happens.
The thing is, the only people I can think of that we can bring along would be trolls and trollkin. Our troll and trollkin friends, we could ask if they are interested at all, or we could ask our breath if we can take along.
Well, we're in the
Gabaryanga's-
Blind Land Club right now. We could just ask Torgro.
Gabaryanga suggests. I've taken long journeys down rivers before. If we want to take cargo, we could buy a boat or requisition or whatever, and tow it along with some of the beasts.
would we need somebody on the boat or somebody that is good at handling boats in specific for this?
I know a bit about handling boats, but I'm not a professional myself.
The other avenue of this, aside from bringing along cargo, would be: do we need anything in particular in order to converse with a brew, even if it is an untainted brew? Like, do we need somebody that's familiar with particular language?
Argrath said it'll speak trade talk, same as anyone else.
But customs, any particular customs that we would have to observe.
Having someone along with the blessing of the Zolafel would probably help. The brew is a powerful entity of the Zolafel cult.
Do we know anybody that fits that description?
I
Doesn't
don't.
ring a bell right
Somebody,
now.
anybody can roll Homeland Lore New Pavis.
Okay.
Okay, let's do that. What was mine at
Yours is this. Well,
6? I have a wonderful 6. Let's do this. Wow, I failed. What a surprise.
Sometimes you don't, though. You gotta go for it.
That's the thing. That's why you gotta shoot for it.
That's
Shoot
right.
for it.
Accidentally rolled in the dice box. Can I still keep
Oh
the
god,
success?
what does a fumble do in this situation?
I know even
whatever
less.
I want it to, and it's just a fail. I can't think of a way to make a fumble interesting for this.
Aww.
But Talak did roll a success in the dice box, but they did roll a success. And Talak knows that the Ingili family is deep with the Zolafel cult.
Maybe we just bring one of those Ingili people along. I mean, there was one of them who liked us, right?
Liked us, yeah, sure.
We were friendlier with them at
You-
the end.
The thing is, I just didn't get the sense from Davis, that's the person I believe we're all talking about, that they
Yes.
were any sort of comfortable or competent with this sort of stuff, and I wouldn't want to put him out of his element.
Well,
I-
it wouldn't hurt to ask him if he knows anyone.
That's
we
true.
could ask first, and aside from that, they do have some time off now that they don't have to sneak food off
It's true.
from the Watch of Purvis.
That's
to,
true.
You know,
My thoughts, just so we're clear, is I'm not exactly sure how many. I'm thinking party composition, right?
okay.
I'm not. We're good on healers. How are we on pure sorcerers? As far as I know, Potov is the closest single pure sorcerer we have.
There's not many pure sorcerers in the system.
Okay.
One is
Any-
enough. One is
any-
more than anyone else.
Okay.
Yeah, we
even
need
then,
more.
you would have
We need
to
more people who beat stuff because that's more likely and easy to get.
Okay.
You
Well
would
then.
still have to split
Most
them
of the
off between-
sorcerers in this region who aren't here working for Argrath already are going to be opposing you in Corflu down at the other end of the river.
Great.
Lunars.
All right. Yeah. Let's go talk to Davis and see if he knows anybody. All right.
Yeah,
So,
Davis is not an adventurer. He's pretty upfront with that. He doesn't want to go on any long-ass boat journeys.
He might know
But-
people looking for an
But
adventure.
yes, when you explain the journey, the task you've been given, do you mention the cleansed one specifically?
I don't think we're gonna give that many details. Just that we're gonna be going on a river journey.
Well, he
Never
can.
know who's listening.
That's-
If Cactius asked, is Cacti asked?
Well, Davis asks you why you're going to be traveling the river. Yes.
Yeah, Cacti will straight up say, we have been tasked in order to find a cleansing.
Okay. Because Kakti cannot tell a lie, right?
yeah.
I
You
mean,
don't have to
she
speak up all the
could.
time.
She could. It would just completely break the rule.
You don't. Just because you have to tell the truth all the time doesn't mean you always have to pipe up, though.
That's true.
It's true.
Like
That's why I
Surma-
asked if I was asked.
Yeah. Surma kind of face palms, and I don't know if she can stop that from being said. I'd like to try, but
You can try to roll intrigue, sure.
yeah.
Anybody can try to roll intrigue to sort of make cover for that.
Yes. I'll definitely be trying.
Potov's
Intrigue. Okay, let's try that.
Potov's a better liar than all of us, but I'm gonna give this a shot. But first, I'm gonna try and augment this. So I'm just not sure what to augment it with. I'm gonna augment
Yeah,
it.
what would you?
I'm gonna
what would you
augment-
augment that
I'm
with?
augmenting it with.
Love stupid sibling.
No. I mean, yes,
And
I.
illusion, maybe disorder.
Well, what I'm thinking is harmony. I want to smooth this over. All right. I want everybody to like. I don't want any bad shit happening, and
Let's move
anybody.
it over.
Anybody who overhears this who wants to do bad shit is being harmonious, and so I want to be harmonious. That's my argument for augmenting with harmony.
I already augmented with trade talk and then intrigue.
And rolled in the planning chamber. But
Oh.
yeah,
Okay.
I see.
Good job.
Look, I clicked at the map. I've been looking at the map. My bad.
I'll try to
but
augment
yeah,
the delusion. Why the
Potov-
heck not?
Potov intrigues his way through.
Yeah. Well, we know
I want to
Potov
try
is.
too.
Yeah. I just want to see if I can level
Potov
it up.
and Duck intrigue their way through.
Hold
Can I
on.
try to, please?
You did, didn't you? You just rolled, right?
No, but that was an augment.
Aww.
Augmenting with-
I do not
All right.
intrigue my way through,
All
but
right.
don't
Well,
worry
you got
about
your
it.
augment, and I
Mhm.
hope you succeed because Surma's fumble in attempting to intervene may countervene.
How much
Potov's
bonus do I
threats.
get now?
Plus
again?
20.
Plus 20, so I
To
have
your
modifier
intrigue.
plus 10. My intrigue is 20.
I'm so
I need
bad.
70 now? Right? 70? How
It's-
much? How much was my augment again?
20.
Oh my god, it's just 40. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Leave this shit to the experts.
Yep.
people.
Yeah, Surma stumbles through your attempt to. Was that your augment or your roll, Surma?
The fumble was my actual roll, so the dice fucking hate me. I think
Yeah,
Surma
you would have needed
tunnel.
at least one more success to cover over that
Yeah,
fumble.
yeah,
so
yeah.
Surma's blundering ensures that yes, Davis does learn that you are seeking the cleansed one.
I think Surma tunnels in
I tried.
on her love and loyalty of Cacti, and
You
she's
should have augmented with sing.
yeah, and she's so focused on covering for Cacti that she doesn't prioritize not fucking up. I'm sorry.
You go to shut Cacti up, but you say the cleanse one's name.
Yeah,
You're saying
basically,
it anyway.
Surma says, Cacti, you can't just say
That
the
has
cleansed
two
one.
effects, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That has two effects.
yeah.
One, it means the cat's out of the bag a little bit.
Mhm.
If Davis knows, other people may know that you're seeking the cleansed one. On the other hand, his eyes do sort of light up when you mention the being, because he, like most of his family, is an initiate of the river cult. And yes, if your quest is to seek the cleansed one, then I can make an introduction for you down at the Zolafel Temple. One
Cool.
of their priests can advise you further.
Thank you, Davis. Ugh.
Now, let me find a map of Riverside.
Have you ever met the creature?
The cleansed one? Meet isn't the right word. I went on the river pilgrimage the year after my initiation, and I saw the cleansed one at a ceremony on the riverside not far from the Sundome Temple. It moved through the crowd, healing people with a touch.
So, most Fraxons really do accept that the Zolafel has washed the chaos clear of it.
Even the storm wolves.
Surprising.
It's the only one I've ever heard of. It's a great miracle of the river.
So who should we meet at the temple?
I'm posting a map here, and you've been by the Zolafel Temple before. It's there on the road down from the river gate, beside the river. It has the four-armed statue of Zolafel of carved wood, looming above the piers. And as Davis explains on the way down to the temple, the priests of the Zolafel are always migrating, moving with or against the flow. So he can't tell you who will be there in the temple to greet you, but they'll be a priest of the river. They'll have authority to speak for him. And the priest on hand today is roll Philomena. You have Homeland Lore Esrolia, right?
I do have that because I'm from there. Woohoo!
Give me a Homeland Lore Esrolia roll.
Okay. That would be the classic 30 plus 10 modifiers of 40. No!
Okay.
I'm not doing so hot today.
You are unfamiliar with the kind of being who is the resident priest at the Zolafel Temple today, but I do have a picture. The priest is a short, just a little, not much taller than Philomena, salamander person. They wear a bright blue tunic that hangs down to their knees, and a really elaborate blue, white, and aluminum headdress that looks like the head of a fish, like a bishop's mitre, perched on the Noodling's head. And the Noodling priest introduces themselves as Gleoop. I'm Gleoop. I speak for the river here today. Davis tells me that you have been asked to seek the Cleansed One. Is this so?
Kaki nods.
A noble
There's no
endeavor.
point in denying it at this point.
A noble endeavor. Why do you seek them?
It's business for the king that should not be uttered around just anyone.
Then you are the hands of the king seeking the Cleansed One. Wow, that changes the context. I see.
Very much so, and we would definitely like assistance, since it is a matter of great importance to the king.
And it is the king that asks that assistance. Well, he has been an honest dealer so far. What do you wish of the river people?
We are looking to be able to travel, mostly, and we figure your wonderful expertise would be of great help and for the success of this mission.
We're looking for someone who's good with boats.
That, yes.
Ah, yes. And the king will pay your expenses?
Maybe.
Absolutely.
Of course. This is a matter he wants to be seen through, and as a result, pay will be provided.
Surma has learned her lesson, and she's just gonna let the talkers do the talking.
It's okay. It's okay.
Then Gloof nods his mitered head and says, "Yes, he will supply you with a boat and a boater, a beautiful boater and a beautiful boat."
I'm in love already.
I'm
And
gonna.
the
We
boater
appreciate
you are
the
supplied with
service is very
is
appreciated.
one of Gleof's own spawnlings, Gloof.
If we asked for a parade of boats, could you supply one?
I mean, we don't want to increase our numbers too much.
The parade of boats will not be held until the next sea season. The great the great procession from the leaping place down to Zola Fell's mouth. It is a beautiful ceremony, taking many weeks.
Thank you for your assistance.
All right, so your hirelings amount to Varish Por Kalan, a bison rider, a rhino rider, and a nootling boat handler.
I hate to do this
Who
to
is
you.
very beautiful, as
Yeah.
you said, very beautiful. You
I-
were very specific about this.
I hate to do this to you, Zeal, but can you name the bison and rhino riders for me too, just so I have a name for them, so Surma can refer to them by name? She's just one of those people who would want to know who people are and be familiar with them. Do you want me to help? You got this?
I still can't let go of the fact that you called the noodling specifically beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Finally,
Was
the
that
shoe
just
is
like
on the
a-
other foot now, bitch.
I'm more
I
asking,
always
was that
ask for
specific?
people's names in Nano's game.
It's important.
See?
One is confirmation that the GM might not kill them since they put in the effort to give them a name, but two, it allows you to be more.
I don't kill anyone. The dice kill people. in this
Yes,
game.
yes,
Oh,
but
that's how you say that, of course.
but two, it gives your player character, the ability to be more familiar with these and develop
can't believe
relationships
that
with them.
I can't believe that the Trollkin that guided Surma away is dead. Just
Again,
never had a
let's
name.
ask though. Did Gloof call the noodling beautiful out of fatherly pride, or was he trying to like advertise him to us?
I mean, the boat is also
It's
beautiful. if you
accurate.
remember.
They're a very high charisma nootling.
Good. I'm just making sure, like, that not that culture involves trying to marry off their spawn at every opportunity. I'm just making sure of it.
Names? Sorry.
Sorry, I'm
The
still
Rhino Rider
speculating.
is named Dorinda. The Bison Rider is named Namid.
Okay.
You have your support lined up. They will all be gathered and ready on the first day of sea season.
Cool.
Fire season, rather.
Cool.
Now, let me post the map of the specific area you'll be traversing. Alright, there's the link. Open the original. It opens to a pretty high resolution. You're at Pavis and Rubble on that map. Your journey is up to Leaping Place Falls. For an unmounted group, that would take about 2.5 days. But for you, it'll only take about a day and a half with stopover in Bullford. On the day of your departure, or the day before, do any of you want to attempt any worship rituals to get the blessing of your gods before this journey?
What day
Oh,
is
of course.
the day of our departure?
I gotta
Let's
make
see.
sure our graph
First
is
week of
pleased
fire
with my.
season.
He has to be pleased with my spiritual practices. I'm sure he would want me to make sure that the spirits are guiding us. What's the best thing I could do for that purpose? I mean, I am a duck, so water is sort of my thing, even if I'm not a boat person. there something I can do with that? Like,
I
What
mean,
do
you
you
can
mean?
always just worship Arnalda.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but like, is there a specific thing I could do to ensure that our journey is safe and blessed? That's the moment I'm looking for.
You don't have any control over exactly how the goddess's blessing manifests. No, you can just propitiate her.
Can I
and
not
hope for
ask?
the best.
Can I not ask for a blessing for the journey?
Well, yeah, you're asking for a blessing for the journey. How exactly that manifests is up to Arnalda.
Of course. Hopefully, she will not manifest that in an unproductive way. But I believe in her. She's great. So what can I do? Is this one of those ritual preparation things again, or
Yes,
nothing
you can
specific?
use ritual prep. You can take as much as a week.
When in the week
we have
are we
that time?
leaving?
Looking at the first week of fire season, the very first day, freeze day, would probably not be propitious, but the second day would be a good day to start. It's not wholly to anything that would be notably opposed to what you're doing. So your goal, you're leaving on Water Day of Fire, of Disorder Week, fire season. And
Alright.
Philomena, you have as much as, and for everybody, you have as much as a week of ritual prep time if you want to make worship rolls to try and sanctify this.
I want to do that. Yes, I will take that week. I really think it's in my and Argrav's best interest that I really try to be as close as possible with my practice before we go, because this is a big mission and we already kind of lost the element of surprise a little bit. So we can only hope that we're really, blessed with harmony and support.
A week is plus 60 to the worship roll.
So my worship roll is just based on the passion for now that I have, or anything
It's your
else.
worship Arnalda skill.
But you could also augment it, right?
Yes.
Where is worship specifically as a skill?
Magic.
Under magic. You
Okay. For that, I only have a 30, so I would definitely like to augment that.
Yep.
Is this a part where I just sing again?
Yes. Singing is a pretty common one to augment worship rolls.
I imagine. I was gonna say that's just the way Philomena connects with her most, calm self. So I really think that's the way to go.
All right.
Oh,
Nice. Success.
nice.
Plus 20. And then plus 60 from the ritual prep, so plus 80. So
That
if your
makes-
worship Arnalda is 30, 110.
Yeah, that makes 110. A normal
All right.
success.
All right,
Still nice.
success. And you're asking for her blessing on the journey.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's see. Looking at the character sheet. And this will be true for anyone else. Well, we'll take blessings on a case-by-case basis. Philomena, you specifically, in the magic notes section on the first page of the character sheet, add
Yeah.
that for sea season,
Or fire season.
fire season, yeah, sorry, I keep doing that. For fire season, you can give a blessing to, you can give a blessing of plus 10 to survival rolls out in Prax.
Just to anyone I choose, or is there a limit?
Yes. Anyone you choose, but just one at a time.
Okay,
Oh,
Potel's
what do
rolling.
you mean by one at a time? Do you mean
As
like I
in-
have to move it around, or?
As in, when if I call for survival rolls, you can add plus 10 to one person's roll.
Ah, okay. So just in a specific instance. Okay, just checking, so I know how that works.
Potel's rolling worship, augmented by Speak New Valorian.
Okay, that also makes sense. Special,
Plus 30. Alright.
Man,
And with
Potop
the
is
week of
so
prep time-
good.
plus 90 total.
I love Philomena and Potop. They hate each other, and yet they're the perfect team.
I don't hate
I don't
Philomena.
hate him. I'm just very scared of him because I'm not sure if he wants to kill me and eat me.
Okay, so this is a Black Moon Day, or no, Dying Moon Day. So Potov is praying to Jackaleel, either asking for support for his sorcery or some a loon, because she's the source of loons.
A loon. Well, you don't. A special or a crit might have gotten you a loon itself. Instead, as a blessing. It's Jalkaleel the Spindle Witch.
Yeah, she's the Spindle Hag. She's the source of lunar sorcery, which is why I also said sorcery support.
Yeah. To your magic notes section for fire season. Take a +5 to sorcery rolls when the moon phase is showing black. So whenever it's not full, whenever part of it is shaded, you get a flat +5 to your sorcery rolls. Doesn't affect the MP cost.
Cool.
Okay, so Talak would also like to make a...
Worship Flintnail?
Yeah, I mean, worship isn't quite the right word, but that's what it is mechanically. And
Yeah.
they wish to augment this with their passion of devotion to their cast duties.
Normal, so +20, so net +80 to the roll. Failure, but not a fumble, just an auto fail.
Okay, so Talak did not gain the insights into how to proceed on this very un-dwarfly type quest.
Yes, the return is that you're doing Flintnail had few direct dealings with Zolafel. That sort of thing was mediated by Lord Pavis when Pavis was founded, so you don't have a ton of existing magical infrastructure to pull on outside of the city itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So my quest for insight into how to proceed here was just unsuccessful.
Does anyone else have some worship they want to attempt before we set out?
I should probably try and do a pray, but go ahead first.
I mean, Kaki will sing for Yomalio.
Alright.
Sing would be the augment. Okay, no augment. And devotion over worship. There you go.
+60 to worship.
Plus 60.
From magical
from the
potion.
wing.
Yeah. Alright. Normal success.
I believe that Kaki has gotten attached to her new mount and would pray that everything and everyone can return safely from the journey. So it would be for the journey itself, but for the return.
Okay. Add to your magic notes. Take a +10 to ride sable antelope while the sun is up for fire season. And Surma, do you want to try to worship
Yeah,
as well?
I do want to try to worship. I've already augmented with harmony, and I still want things to go harmonious, so I'm gonna roll with that. Let's keep being harmonious. So what is my sing? I forget. I remember it's not bad. I'm gonna sing for Yamalio.
If
So
you've already got a harmony augment,
yeah,
then just add that to your
to add that to
plus
my
60
worship.
in worship.
Yeah, my worship
so net
Yamalio.
+80.
Yeah. Well, my worship Yumelio is currently 30%. By the way, I did find it on my sheet, so now it's plus
So
80.
110.
Okay, roll 100 trend. Got it. Let's go. Nice. Hey,
Special.
special.
Okay.
I'm. You know.
How would you
Finally.
characterize your ask, since this is the first special we've gotten on one of these?
Oh gosh. What a lot of pressure on me to finally give a shit about a guide I've been pretty clear I'm not a big fan of.
That's why you're writing pages of fan fiction.
It's why I'm writing pages of fan fiction about him where I.
So what are you asking?
Where I fix or
Your
sue
version.
him.
What are you asking?
My character's headcanon of how Yumalio really is. Here's how she prays to asexual, queer as fuck Yumalio who gives a fuck about people and just messes up a bunch and miscommunicates. Is hey, it's your girl. Surma, no, stop it. Jenner, get in character.
So what are you? What are you asking it for?
So Surma sings, and Surma is a warrior, so she performs. Her way of showing Yumalio is to either perform, like sing and do like drills, like training drills, to show her thing. And so as she's doing like training drills, very much like the Be a Man montage in Mulan, she will speak to Yumalio, and all she wants, since I've augmented with Harmony, is two things, maybe three. Let me see about that third one. One is Basro, her uncle, to do well and come back safely, and inshallah, whatever the Glorantha version of inshallah is. Everybody else on that journey to make it back as safely as they can to the journey that Basro, her uncle, is leading. And second, that we do well and that this goes over harmoniously and that we don't start a big fight and make a big feud, right? And the third thing is a bit of a more personal ask because she's done, which is please help me stop fucking up so much. I'm messing up and I don't know why. I'm messing up a lot. How's that for you?
Almalio can't really help you to not mess up. To be Almalio is to mess up.
Yeah, exactly. Just you relate, right, with messing up, Yumalio. Just let's share a moment of man imperfection success.
Okay. For a special, you get two things instead of one.
Yeah.
One, to help protect others.
Mm-hmm.
Add in the magic notes section of your sheet for fire season. Add +5 to your battle skill while the sun is up.
Saying something good here, huh?
Yumalio, my headcanon of asexual careers fuck just makes mistake. Yumalio has my back.
See, he believes in you, and I
The
think
other
that's
half.
Mm-hmm.
Each session, when you fail a communication skill, you can put an experience check in it.
Nice.
Aw, that is a very nice blessing. Surma will learn and improve. I am proud of her.
Thank you.
Again, only for fire season, and only one check per session.
Thank you, Yumalio. Thank you, Zeal, who is actually the one doing this.
And make sure everybody's checked your worship roll.
Yep.
Experience.
Let me click that.
I don't check it because I failed, right?
Yes, you failed.
But I
Cool.
checked my devotion to my cast duties.
Yes.
Yeah.
I failed, but not for lack of trying.
Yeah. You failed because the materials were not there, not because you did not have the skills to succeed.
Because the world is broken.
Yes.
It just means it needs fixing. And let's see.
And sometimes
I'll
fixing it takes us on weird and unforeseen paths. This is something that Tolek is learning and is struggling to deal with.
Sounds like a movement thing to me. I don't know.
No, movement. No, here's the thing. Movement would be trying to fix the world the way we've always tried to fix it, but stasis is using the tools we have available to us right now.
Alright, Patav, I won't make you roll to learn a little bit in advance when Gabaryanga is going to be making his own Blue Moon devotions at the Seven Mothers Temple in public. Do you want to try to be present for that?
I definitely want to eavesdrop.
Oh God! Can't you just talk to the guy normally, like a person?
But you learn so much more this way.
You learn so much more by being sneaky. I just
Put
sense
down such a shady person.
sense.
Can you blame the duck for being scared of him?
Gabar Yanga augmented with his devotion to Artmal, and then took a week of ritual prep. And
If he's doing this in the temple, then it's not exactly secret.
yeah, it's not secret. It's just, they wouldn't necessarily let non-lunar initiates in to see this. That's why only Potov's potentially invited. But
the joke I made about referencing the "I'm Blue Bada Bada Ba" song was lost, so I just want to remake the joke so it's on air. Sorry, continue.
I'm sure that worked very well.
I'm sorry for interrupting so much. I promise I'll stop.
The finale of his preparations involve him playing his kora under the skylight of the Seven Mothers Temple, which gives Potov and the Seven Mothers initiates an opportunity to, like Philomena earlier in sea season, witness the blue moon. It shines down for a solid 3 or 4 minutes through the skylight, filling the Temple of the White Moon with its weird, unearthly blue light, which seems to play very harmoniously with the white bull Seven Mothers people have added to the more black and red imperial decorations.
Now that I'm seeing the blue moon for the first time, is there any sort of roll I can make to maybe learn more about it or perceive it more?
Sure. Roll either a luck roll or your moon rune. Or you could
well,
try
those are
to
the same,
augment.
so yeah.
Then you could try to augment your luck with the moon rune.
Alright.
Plus 20. Success. All right. Potov, you witness this other phase or other incarnation of the moon for the first time, and you attempt to reach out the way you did when you first entered the White Moon Temple, but this time the connection comes easily and very naturally, and what are you seeking as you start to sort of resonate on the same frequency as the blue moon?
Some sort of understanding of the way the moon changes from color to color, phase to phase.
Okay. Gabar Yanga has been singing along with his kora accompaniment in a language you've only heard of when he's sung at other occasions. But despite that, as the song goes on and the blue light fills the temple, the words just start to make sense. And it's a song about the blue moon, how she's turned away from the world and out of grief and as part of her sacrifice, and it doesn't explain what her sacrifice is. But in the coded into the rhythm and the lyrics of the music, you understand that the song is also a measure of how the blue moon moves on the outside of the sky dome and affects the tides. So put an experience check in Celestial Lore.
Nice.
Just gonna roll that now because there's no check for the lures.
Yes, roll 1d6 and add it to your Celestial Lore, I should say.
All right.
The blue moon moves on a completely different cycle from the red moon. It goes all the way up to the top of the sky dome and then passes through it, still invisible, descending into the great whirlpool at the center of the homeward ocean, Magasta's Well, where she enters the underworld, and then a little bit later in the week, reemerges to climb up the outside of the sky dome again. The tides are governed by the movement of the moon. When she gets to the top of the sky dome, the tides are at their highest. They descend to their lowest point when she re-enters the underworld. And then they start to climb back up as she climbs the sky dome again.
Well,
That
the
is
red moon doesn't move. Some people might say it's supposed to, but right now it's frozen.
Yeah. And throughout that progress, she's invisible except in unique circumstances, like Gabaryanga's worship ritual just now. For the moon to have been visible through the skylight, it must be pretty high tide. Not that you're anywhere near the ocean yet. So, you have all gone and sought religious and magical support for this journey, in addition to the social and material support you've already gathered up. And on the morning of the second day of fire season, you are gathered before the north gate of the city in the downtown district. You are seen off by Argrith Whitebull, Ilusu, and an older man named Throngi with a long beard and a pretty good paunch, who carries a fine wooden walking stick with a crystal set golden head, who is the main representative of Isaris in the city. And to see you off, Argrith says, before you go, you should understand the full import of this journey I've set you. You start north today, towards the leaping place. I'll explain now what that name means. The Zola Fell is a god of the waters, and he joined the invasion of the god of the waters when they sought to drown the land. He ventured far into the north, into the mountains that are the sleeping place of giants. And he would have gone further, but he received a call from far to the south. The spike, the center of the world, the citadel of the gods, exploded, and where it had stood became a terrible sucking void to the maw of chaos. The gods of the waters joined together to throw themselves into the mouth, to fill it and overcome it. And many perished, but Magasta survived and began to succeed. And he sent out a call to the other gods of water to lend their power to him. The leaping place is the place where Zola Fell received the call and turned back from the conquest of the land to aid Magasta to save the world. You will go to the leaping place. Like Zola Fell, you will turn around and go south to fight chaos. Every step of your journey will be a part of that greater journey. Conducted in the right way, you can find power to assist you at the end of it. Go with my blessing. Understand that many lives may hinge upon your ability to defeat the watchdog of Corflu when the time comes.
Anyone want to swear any oaths?
You
I've
can
sworn
get
an oath
reputation
to...
if you swear oaths.
Oh, I mean, I've sworn an oath to Argraf and Ronaldo already. Is there anything else I need to swear to?
You could renew your oath, I assume.
Your oath sounds romantic.
Or is that not allowed? Is it not allowed to renew an oath?
Can you explain this? If this is an extra mechanic, I want to make sure I'm not saying
Yeah.
something stupid.
You can promise that you'll do this or blank.
Yeah, swear an oath on your honor as a shaman. Or something like that. Or to achieve the quest in a particular way. Or in a particular style.
And what benefit does that give me?
You get to roll 1d3, or if it's a really good oath, 1d6 for reputation.
I don't know how reputation works. I just know it exists.
It's a measure of how well people know you.
And respect me, I guess? Is it like a positive way of knowing, or can it be infamy
Not
as well?
necessarily. It can also represent infamy. If you swore an oath and then failed to achieve it, you might roll more for reputation, but it wouldn't be a good reputation. It's a composite of your story, basically.
Well, I will, I guess I don't really need to bow or go on my knees much because I'm already very small, but the gesture is there. And I say, I will swear on my honor that I will make Argraf proud and fulfill this mission to his utmost satisfaction. And not just the satisfaction of him personally, but also to everything he spiritually stands for.
Argrith receives your oath with all due reverence. Roll 1d3.
Okay. I'm very excited to find out what that means. Hopefully nothing terrible.
It's probably what you're gonna add to your reputation.
Yeah, add 1 to your reputation.
Okay.
It is the oath of a very small duck, but it is an oath nonetheless.
You should have
But at some
signed the
point, my
oath.
name is gonna be big. I'm telling you.
You should have
it might
maybe
be a small
signed the
duck.
oath. That would have given you more reputation.
I
Do the oath stuff.
understand. But I'm just saying, one day my name will be much bigger than my small stature might suggest. Just saying. Anyone else in the swearing mood then?
Tends to be a truth rune thing or a high honor thing.
Honestly, that seems like some sort of weird human hang-up. So I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah, an elf would swear an oath to their hearth tree or something.
Or to the id potential, I suppose.
I'm,
depending on
you know,
how ancient.
I guess I'll swear an oath to the group. Gonna build my loyalty group. I'm gonna do, or love group. I chose love group. Fuck y'all, I'm in love with you. We're dating. I'm gonna do my very, very best to keep all of you safe and get us through this successfully. That is my oath. I'll do everything I can to make sure I don't fail you and that I get us through this successfully and safely. All of us.
Alright, roll 1d3.
Yeah. Two.
Add 2 to your reputation.
Nice. I don't remember where my reputation is on the sheet. I think it's up here at the top.
Up at the top.
Hey, 16. I'm at 18 reputation now. Go me. Getting bit known-ish. Building that reputation of being gay and fucking up all the time.
So, your 9 riders set out from the north gate of the city and eventually follow the trail down to the riverside, where Gleuf the Newtling is there ready to pole along your riverboat, which which is full of your food and other belongings that would be burdensome on your riding animals. The rhino is the slowest of the beasts and probably the strongest, and so they simply lash it to the prow of the boat, and the rhino will pull the boat upstream against the current on your way north. Now, on this first stretch, if we look at, hold on. If we look at the area you will be traveling towards through the black and white map. Your goal is the Leaping Place Falls, and you have a choice. You'll be riding through the well-watered farmlands of Pavis County, surrounding the villages and dotting the side of the river between Pavis and the village of Waterby, which is the next place you'll pass. Just a little village, mostly full of Orlanthi, of less than 300 people. Beyond that is Bullford, a more fortified village, home to about 500. And you'll get to Bullford on mounts with some light to spare at the end of the day. So the question is, do you try to stay in Bullford for the night, or camp further on, further north along the river, out under the stars?
I think there's no need to rush. We
Uh,
don't need to know where the cleansed one is. For all we know, he could be traveling down south to us.
as an Eldrami, Kanti probably wouldn't have any difference between camping inside of a town or camping outside of a town. Ultimately, it's sort of be up to everyone else.
Hmm.
Do you want to sleep in a bed or do you want to sleep outside?
I mean, we're gonna be
I mean, the
sleep.
town
Go ahead.
does have the advantage of increased safety. We would be less likely to be ambushed during the night, and we wouldn't have to do guard duty.
Depending on the secrecy of our mission, also means that we would be in the middle of people. If you guys actually cared about that. Kanti doesn't very much.
Well, we're going to be passing through the town anyways. It's not like we can keep our location secret.
Yeah, Surma's love family is simply too high to not act on. Trying to make sure that Cacti, who's not used to living it rough, has as easy of a time as possible. So I don't want us to be like sleeping on the ground and roughing it, as much as possible. So I Surma, prefer that we spend the night in town and just keep our mouths shut about what we're doing, right?
Okay, the balance seems to be either neutral or towards town. Gabaryanga is neutral.
I mean, if I can sleep in a cozy bed, I will. Because I'm a duck who likes it cozy.
Do Varish Porkalan and his companions or group have any opinions?
Gloof will be staying on the boat regardless. But Varish and the riders, they're honestly more comfortable sleeping out rough, but they're not averse to staying indoors, especially if you can line up some of that Orlanthi mead they make.
Oh, no, that sounds delightful.
One thing I just remembered, important question. Is Philomena taking her very fancy dress on this journey?
She's bringing it, but not wearing it right now.
Yeah. Philomena, keep in mind when you aren't wearing your real fancy stuff for the +1 charisma.
Of course, it's just, when we're actually in an ambassadorial situation, it will come in handy, but I'm keeping it very safe. This was a gift from Argraf. So I will defend this with my life.
And you're not going to dirty it by just wearing it while we're riding through the desert.
I will keep this dress. I love this dress. It is my dress. I keep it.
It's not that late. It is summer, so the days are long. By the time you come within sight of Bullford, it is the last good ford this far north of the river before the actual leaping place. There are posts on either side of the river where the vigilant Orlanthe guards watch the pretty regular traffic of cattle and other kinds of trade, just sort of lumbering through the water, hauling their carts Oregon Trail style. No one's built a bridge yet, or recently. Bridges have a mixed history on the Zola Fell. Put up a bridge across the river and it doesn't tend to last too long, so in most cases people don't bother.
Cradle plows through it or something.
Yeah, something's gonna happen. There's giants up north, everybody knows.
What if you created a sort of collapsible bridge that could expand across the river? This is an interesting engineering problem. I shall have to make note of this.
Before you left, Philomena, as Argrith's shaman student, was given a signet ring, a bronze ring with a white bull in ivory in profile on its face, to show as a sign that you're moving along on the king's business.
Mm-hmm. So people will believe us when we say so.
We could also probably use it to procure supplies or, hospice.
Oh, you want to trade it off? I don't think.
No,
Arthur will like that.
show it as proof that we are on the king's mission in order to, put it on the king's tab if we need anything.
Well, it might be smart
not
to.
Cacti's words, but the idea is.
Yeah. More
Now,
just we need to be careful we don't show it to willy-nilly to everyone, because I'm definitely certain there will be people who would like to trade that off.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
The idea is that we're probably meant to use it as the business expense credit card, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but we should treat it like that. Let's not drain the king's coffers, and let's be careful to not draw in, greedy hands who see us as an unlimited surplus of funds, right? Let's be responsible and show the king that we respect them, right, and aren't going to take advantage of their generosity, right?
Yeah.
I
Zeal, is that assumption correct, that the ring will give us, certain credit, as it were?
It's true, but how far you push that is up to you.
Okay, yeah, we should be careful with that. I don't want to be dinged by my boss later because we bought too many books.
That would definitely constitute breaking your oath of fulfilling this mission to the best of his satisfaction.
Yes, especially in
Argraf
spiritually
asking
and
Cacti.
in his vision.
Philomena, can I hold the ring for a little bit?
No. No, absolutely not. Nope. I still think you might eat me, so no.
So,
Very no.
the plan is to get lodgings in Bullford for the night. And there's two
It might
basic
be very
approaches
nice,
you can make to that. Because there's two kinds of lodgings that could be there. You can either try to stay in a residence, and for a group of 9 people, not counting the newt who will stay at the boat. Well, only so many houses can house that many people. So
What about animals?
Whether you go with a private or an establishment for the night, that'll include stabling.
Okay.
It's sort of a given. If you're being offered hospitality in Prax, that'll include care for the animals.
So residence is going to be tricky because we are a lot of people.
Yeah, but for a group like you, the only residence you could likely approach is whoever's in charge here, which would be the local. For a place like Bullford, the title probably isn't king.
Chief?
but yeah,
Mayor?
uh,
The
Elder?
mayor?
clan,
Mayor.
probably chieftain. Bullford is also a clan technically, so the clan chief of Bullford.
There's
Oh.
no inn of some sort?
That's the other
There probably
option.
is, yeah.
If you don't try to approach someone with the private resources to put you up, which would probably be the chief, there is an inn.
Consideration I'm making here is that the chief will probably ask more questions for his hospitality. And there's the question, do we want to answer questions?
I mean, you're already answering a question when you're using the King's Signet anyway.
Of course, but I don't think an innkeeper is gonna feel the need to ask as many questions about that than the chieftain will, who's probably, trying to get some kind of political favor.
That's possible, but also consider that
I-
the innkeeper lives here, so in
Oh,
the
of
end,
course.
they may contact the chieftain anyway.
But they make it their business to, just provide a service first and foremost, and to not play
Yes,
that
but,
game.
Actually, I have a comment that I'd like to make, but I want to roll Inside Human to see where
Okay.
Let's
Go
see.
for it. I'm excited to find out how this will mess up.
Okay,
Nah.
no.
It wasn't a
thought does
fumble.
not-
So you just
Yeah,
sort of
the
wake
thought
up.
does not occur to me.
Okay, now I wish I knew what you were gonna say, but too bad. Yeah, that's my feeling, that the chieftain might be very good to have on our side, but the more people we play in our favor, the more of them will ask. The likelier it gets we have to answer unpleasant questions. So I would just like to have a group consider that aspect. The innkeeper is more likely to just do their job and provide us with room and board and let's leave it at that. But the chieftain, is someone who wants to preserve their stature and standing. So
I support the just chill with the common man. Let's not rub elbows with the upper crust sentiments that are being expressed here.
like Philomena is really good at rubbing elbows. She just also has learned in her time at the court that not everyone you can rub elbows with is necessarily a nice elbow, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, to that point, any anybody with Homeland lore prax, as in not Pavis, can roll it.
Okay.
I do not have that because I'm not from here, so someone else, please. Are we gonna find out if the chieftain is cool or not?
No, I've never heard of Bullford in my life.
I
At least
guess-
nothing
Someone else?
about
I guess I should roll Homeland Lore Prax.
Try it.
Yeah, might as well. And can I keep with harmony? Still trying to be harmonious here.
It's a new.
Yeah. Oh shit. So I gotta redo. All right.
You've
Yeah.
already augmented with harmony for the session.
Okay.
Try
so
a different augment.
you want me to? So that means harmony still applies or new augment?
No, new augment. It has to
Okay.
be new
New
augment and
And
think.
you can't use harmony again this
Can't
session.
use harmony again. All right. I guess we're gonna go with. Oh shit! I really wanted to use harmony. Let's go with movement. I guess no, movement isn't what I'm. Harmony is really what I'm trying for. How dare! I don't know what to augment with.
You could try whatever rune governs knowledge stuff.
What rune
Truth.
is that? Truth? Okay. Yeah, truth. Roll 75 to augment with truth. Here we go. Nope. Okay.
Oh,
I'm gonna.
No augment.
It's time for general rolling dice to continue as we are familiar. This is knowledge prax, right?
Yep.
yeah.
Homeland lore
Homeland
34.
lore prax.
Here we go. Time to fail. Yep. Sorry.
Yep. You don't know it. So, other than the basics that it's an Orlanthe town, you're sort of going in blind. You don't have much advanced knowledge. So what's your approach?
So yeah, Philomena has brought forth that she's very keen on rubbing elbows with people, since that is something she has practiced much in her time at the court. But she wants to remind people that the chieftain will probably ask questions, and the last time we were asked questions, we didn't do so hot at that. So keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it is an advantage, of course, to having a contact that might look favorably upon the king, and we can leave a good impression as well by on the king. You know that maybe the chieftain will be impressed and be more like, oh yeah, our graph is great, and then Philomena will be very happy. But
Yeah. Well, since
just
it's
keep that in mind. We might also say something stupid, and that might have consequences.
yeah, since we're basically representing the king and acting in his interests, we need to be mindful of that. Is basically what Philomena is saying. When we fuck up, it's the king fucking up, and when we do well, it's the king doing well. And so, just that's what she's saying. Keep that in mind.
Okay, with what Surma just said, Kakti now kind of understands and will let everyone else choose the lodgings and will instead go and relieve some of Gloof's burden by offloading some of the water skins and clothing and distributing, looking in the town to distribute for whatever the closest equivalent of the Temple of Sholana Roy is in this town, whether it be a soup kitchen.
Not
or,
a full temple, but they've got a shrine. Yeah.
You could make offerings at the shrine.
The idea is that Kakti is going to distribute water skins and clothes to people that need them.
Nice, like it.
Yeah. Cacti, give us a crafting roll to
Cacti's gonna do
demonstrate
that. Then I do think we should
the
go to the
quality of
chieftain
the goods.
because we can kind of like that just
You
like
can
casually
augment
drop.
with something if you like.
We can casually drop that we come bearing gifts, and I think the chieftain will appreciate that.
You could do
It's
that.
much harder to pester someone who's been doing you a big favor, you know?
Let me see. I'm gonna go with
You know what I mean?
honor.
Like, if he feels indebted to us, then... Yeah.
Okay, no augment. And then...
We're really flubbing these augments.
wood shifting for the...
But it's great stuff. It's a special success, so yeah.
so they're great water skins as always.
Yeah, you're offering fine elf-made desert wear. It's great stuff, and so Cacti has volunteered to make some donations to the local charitable shrine.
Oh, now we're definitely going to the chieftain. I changed my mind completely. Like I said, we have to make sure that he knows we're leveraging the hell out of this.
Surma looks to Potav. You haven't really said anything, said your thoughts on this, Potav.
Lodgings are lodgings, whatever. You guys figure it out. I'm just wondering. My thoughts are on the road ahead. Like when we get lodgings, I was going to ask around about conditions.
Sounds good. What about you, Talak? You haven't really voiced in. What are your thoughts?
Lodgings are indeed lodgings. I'm not entirely sure how this whole... Humans do this weird thing where they expect some sort of nice thing to be done for them when they do a nice thing. Like the whole thing with money, it's just... I don't get it.
It's called transactional. It's a transactional interaction.
It just doesn't make a lot of sense from my perspective. See, when we do things, we do what we are required to do, and we are given what we are required, what we need to do that what is required of us, and we don't bother with all this currency nonsense.
Like I said,
so I can trust your judgment.
Thank you.
The important thing is not all currency comes in a physical form. Favors are one of the most important currencies out there.
That makes it just even worse. Like you have money that's not even money.
Yeah. And I'm not afraid to leverage you.
Philomena!
Improve the good name of the king.
Stop! You're making it worse. Talak, I'll sit down with you. Philomena and I will sit down with you and we'll talk to you more about how humans work tonight. She puts her hand on Talak's shoulder and says, I bet you could learn a lot about how more rural people make houses and do masonry and wandering around the town. Why don't you check that out? I bet you could learn some things, even from the simple stuff.
I shall do that. I shall inspect the local masonry.
Well, Philomena makes the executive decision then to go and go to and make herself known to the chieftain then.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody make a communication roll to make your introductions and
Yeah.
formally request.
I mean, I will happily do so. I just said
courtesy.
I'm doing that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
communication role, you say?
Mm-hmm.
I can
If you're-
always sing to the
you
chieftain.
can that is part of the setting. Yes, there are many situations where you can open with a song.
I'm so happy about that. I will do so. I will absolutely do so, and I will definitely augment this with harmony because I think that's very much what we're doing here.
Would Cacti be able to augment for Philomena due to
I will-
charming people?
I would say that the. You know what, Philomena, rather than roll an augment, just take the plus 30 special that Cacti rolled as your augment.
That's lovely. Thank you, Cacti.
So
Yay.
add plus 30 to sing.
Okay. I will make myself known to the chieftain and greet him with a beautiful song.
All right. It is a very good song. And it is helped along significantly by the elf goods, which will be distributed by the earth and healing initiates in the settlement.
Mm-hmm.
And
You are
certainly
received.
leaves a beautiful impression.
I just want it known, if it's okay with you, Potov. Surma would like to just follow you around and hang out with you while you get the information that you get and just see how you work because she thinks it's fascinating and she's really impressed by you. She's not going to say that out loud, but she just wants to watch you do your weaselly way because it's impressive to her. If that's okay with you.
You're received into the chieftain's stead, which is the biggest house and slightly fortified in Bulford, by the storm voice of the Bulford clan, Ferengar Horseteeth. He's a huge man. His limbs are deeply etched with blue Orlanthe tattoos. He is bare-chested and wearing not much more than a loincloth and
No.
jewelry on his
Okay.
arms. He's very muscular. He has a long black beard, and though he's gone bald on the top of his head, he has a long tail hanging down his back. And
Fake or real?
well, like a ponytail. of
Yeah,
hair.
no.
But-
No, I meant like is the hair like like an accessory or actually still his real hair?
It's real. He's one of those guys who's grown a bald guy ponytail at the back.
Oh boy.
But the nickname Horseteeth is immediately obvious because as soon as he sees Surma and the other animal riders, he breaks into a big grin, and this guy's teeth are tremendous. But he's in good cheer. He's a big supporter of Argrath. The first reveal of the ring brings forth meat and mead or vegetables for the elf. They don't really know what to do with Talak. They start to offer you food, but
No, I've got my tin of paste and I'm going to get started on that.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful to properly close the tin afterwards so as not to expose the ration paste unnecessarily to the elements.
Ferengar's very friendly with Praxians. He speaks the tribal languages very well. He tells Surma Sable Rider jokes and Varish Lama Rider jokes. And since you make it clear that you're here on the king's business and he's a supporter, he doesn't ask too much. You're offered good quality lodgings, stabling for your animals, and ironically, this is the option that ensures you are not asked too many pressing questions because Farengar keeps any likely parties at arm's reach. He does ask if there's anything he can do to help your mission, with the caveat that they're dealing with some brews to the west that most of his thanes are going to be occupied with for the next few weeks.
Yes,
So
Surma.
he can't give you swords, but Is there anything he can help? Even a good wind in the right direction?
Surma's personal opinion, and she will say as such, is that this generosity and hospitality that he is providing for us is sufficient for her. She's very grateful for it, and she'll even make a couple Sable Rider jokes back at him, even though she's not much. She's very unsable rider herself anymore, I'd say. But yeah, she tells Sable Rider jokes because she is a Sable Rider joke. So
I'm trying to think if there's something, if we will put in a good word. We could always say we could put in a good word for the guy at Argraf. Mention him favorably to Argraf, which is always a good thing.
I mean, I obliged to you.
I have a very direct in to the king.
well, that's things we can do for him. He wants to know if he can do
that's what I'm
anything more.
thinking.
Yeah.
What would he like to offer us in exchange? Because of
Well,
course
he
would
wants-
like to assist our mission. He said favorable winds, for instance, sound nice. Would they shave some time off of the journey?
It might.
How many Sable Riders does it take to saddle up a herd beast?
How many?
I'm going to assume one.
You just don't understand humor, Talak.
Thanks.
Good deflection.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, how much time would it shave off us if the Orlanthi blessing was bestowed upon us and the winds were especially favorable to our journey? Is there an estimate?
She looks
Can
to.
Tharengar give us an estimate?
Yeah.
Well,
Your boat doesn't have a sail. It wouldn't speed you, but it would keep the bad winds off you. The sand winds coming in off the desert.
That
Call something nice and moist from the north.
indeed.
From the south,
That's not-
rather.
Yeah. It
That
would,
certainly sounds good.
it would keep us cooler too. It would be a bit more comfortable. The heat can get a bit rough in fire season.
It would preserve our strength for what's ahead,
Yeah.
especially.
That's
It's not sapped by horrible weather.
That's very
I
thoughtful.
agree.
Very thoughtful of you, Farengar, and we'll gladly accept that. Thank you.
Yeah, no obvious roles are required for it, but when you set out again in the morning, you'll probably reach the leaping place in the relatively early afternoon. There is a consistent, pleasant breeze out of the south that flows, flows at your back throughout the day's journey.
Even though Surma likes Potov, when he's on that fucking horse, she stays as far away from him as she possibly can. She doesn't even want to be associated with that filthy, disgusting animal.
Oh, that is one thing that would have been relatively unpleasant for Surma.
Yep.
They have lots of horses
Ugh.
in Ford, and they're pretty friendly with the Pole Joni, the only horse herding nomads.
Grumble.
It's really
Farengar's friendly to all the nomads. He doesn't make
Mhm.
the same distinctions
Mhm.
because he's outside your tribal system. He has that
Mhm.
luxury.
She's
it's really a testament to sort of self-control that she's been mentioning.
yeah. She gets it right, but also she's got her. She understands it's a him thing, and this is a her thing, right? Still, fucking horse riding degenerates.
So do we leave without Potov getting any information?
No,
Yeah.
Potosh should go get his info.
Yeah, Potop, what do you want to do while you're overnighting in Bullford?
Well, actually, I was gonna ask someone else to do it because my stats aren't great for it. But can somebody just make some sort of Praxian or trade talk roll to just chat with people around here and figure out what's the conditions on the road? Are there any dangers?
I think
I mean,
Philomena's the
if
one
Potov
who's spec
tells
for that.
Kakti could do that on the way to the temple in the first place. Just checking.
Yeah, sure. Trade talk would be a good role for that. Several of the communication skills. Listen as well. Basically, give me your approach for picking up the scuttlebutt, and I'll tell you if it's a good way to use your skills or not.
Well, since Kakti, okay, here's an idea. Let's go. The idea would be Potov voices the curiosity out loud, and Kakti picks up on it. And since Cockney isn't really participating in the merrymaking inside of the shifting stuff, and it's probably really quickly done for Neil, she heads out to check with the temple and just make small talk or listen in on conversations in the town. See if there's anybody that didn't manage to get, since, she kind of just eyeballed how much clothing and water skins they're put out. See if anybody still needs more.
That sounds like a listen or trade talk.
I'll augment it with
Yeah,
my man by pointing out who to check out.
That makes a lot of sense. Nano, roll your man rune.
Oh,
No, dang.
Special plus 30 to your listen or trade talk roll, Cockty.
Kaki will be using listen. Plus 30 is 101.
Dang, Cacti.
All right, pretty good. Okay, so while you're in town, you do a little digging, and well, the leaping place is the edge of the plateau that marks the start of the real desert to the north. It's near an Orlanthi holy site called the Paring Stone. So there's a relative which is overseen by the Bulford clan. Farangar is actually the Orlanthi priest in charge of the place, and his guys patrol between Bulford and the Paring Stone. So as long as you're south of the Leaping Place Falls, west of the Paring Stone, and north of Bulford and east of the river, you're probably not going to face much in the way of unfriendly nomad attention. If you cross the river, and Bulford would be the place to do that if you want to travel along the east side of the river rather than the west, well, that's a little more exposed.
So the idea is that we could stay on the west and use the well-traveled path that the patrols already use in order for the Paring Stone site.
Yeah, as
Or
long
we
as
could-
you keep the Paring Stone to your left and the river to your right, you can probably travel safely to Leaping Place Falls. It would be pretty unexpected. The main danger would be once you get to the Leaping Place Falls. That's the extent of both the river cult and the local Orlanthes patrols. So both nomads and trolls could be loitering somewhere north of the falls.
Okay. I'll pass on this information not just to Oda but to everyone else. Once I'm back from doing my second rounds outside.
I think I'm actually going to take up Sturma's suggestion and do a little field trip examining the local. Well, it's probably not going to be architecture. It's probably going to be the local masonry. I don't think this place is big enough to have anything resembling architecture.
Well, you'll be rolling architecture, but they probably didn't to make the stuff, no.
Okay. Do I want to augment this with anything? I'm just doing this sort of out of curiosity. I'm not particularly invested, so I'm not going to augment it.
Oh, almost a special, though.
Hmm.
Yeah, while Cockty is learning what she just learned, Talak wanders around Bulford, and it's only a village of 500. There's not that much to wander through. And it's mostly single-story, thatched-roofed, mud brick houses. Nothing real special. There's never been any dwarf infrastructure under here, as far as you know. And yet, it's one of the few times you've been at leisure in completely non-dwarf informed human urban settings. And it does help you sort of figure out what they do in the absence of Mustali direction. So put an experience check in Insight Human as a result of that architecture roll.
Nice.
So this is I'm getting a more pure sense of how the humans think based on how they build stuff when there's nobody around to tell them how to do it properly.
Mm-hmm. And you're forming some strong opinions on our garbage way of doing things, possibly.
Probably.
Talek looking at mud houses the way Serba looks at horses.
I mean, I'd be offended, but they're humans. So I wasn't really expecting anything better. It's just it's very interesting. It's very enlightening into the exact shape of their limitations.
how diplomatically put. We're garbage. We love it. We love being trash. All right.
So, anything else you want to do while you're in Bullford?
Potop, did you want to do anything beyond?
I'm good.
Okay. I don't know if I've been conveying it well, but while Surma's genuine and her like warmth and interactions with everybody, it's also very strained. She's going through some stuff. And I don't know if I conveyed it, but she's really keeping to herself, even though she's presenting as if she's putting herself out there. And she does that even now. That's what she'll be doing for the night, is just kind of sticking to herself and not reaching out like and being as warm as she normally would be.
She's behaving more like people expect Yelmalians to.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Are you gonna stay that way for the rest of the night, though?
And she seems to be, yeah, kind of consumed in her own thoughts, and she's doing her best to be warm, right? But it's like I said, it's strained, and it's not authentic. It's not as authentic in normal. Like it's just doesn't have the same level of warmth. It's almost like she's forcing it, and she's going through some stuff. But you might need an insight roll to get that much information, though. I can only tell you that that's what I'm trying to present here.
Why would I roll insight on someone who insulted my poor horse year on throats?
I can't wait for your horse to die. I'm gonna eat it. Sorry, go on.
Since Kakti remembers Surma's troubles, she's probably just going to give your elbow a squeeze when passing by you on her way to, sleep standing up on the wherever she decides to end up sleeping.
Someone will give her like a, well, not like a, we'll give her a grateful smile and like a nod of her head, and I think she'll just, sulk in her room like a teenager for the rest of the night.
Otherwise, the night is uneventful.
Mm-hmm.
Varish and the other riders, they do get the mead they were hoping for, but they're disciplined enough that they don't get into any hijinks beyond having a good time with Farangar and his retainers up in the chieftain's hall.
Did I get to entertain our wonderful host with a song and dance? Maybe was there a little bit of music before bed?
I'd say that was covered by the good sing roll at the start. Yeah, you
Sweet.
would have been performing throughout, and Gabar Yanga performed a little as well in accompaniment. And
that's lovely.
That's
Philomena relishes that.
And that's one thing that does happen other than your guys' own activities before the next day. Towards the end of the night, Philomena, Gabaryanga is putting away his Korra when he mentions, I felt something during our performance tonight.
Oh.
He points.
What do you mean?
He gestures vaguely north and east, through the wall of the stead, suggesting the river beyond and the lands beyond the river. I felt a kinship with something. It's not close, but it's somewhere over there. I couldn't tell you more than that.
What would you suggest we do with this knowledge?
Well, from what Cocteau said, that is the direction of danger. We would be going outside the areas patrolled by these Orlanthi if we followed this intuition of mine.
You said you felt a kinship. Can you specify a bit more about that? Kinship can mean so many things.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. I felt something that was like to me out there. I can't say any more detail than that.
I would guess that's not a common feeling for you around here.
It's not something I expected in this part of the world, no.
Should we bring this forth to the group tomorrow?
Let's not interrupt the journey to the leaping place, unless you think it's worth bringing up. I didn't feel any great urgency.
If it's not urgent, we could explore this at a later point. Would you feel that appropriate?
I think the most appropriate thing is to follow the task we've been given for now.
Okay, but let me know if this feeling comes up again, because I think we should listen to it when the moment is right.
I will, don't worry. If anybody wants to have eavesdropped on that.
It depends on
Who
whether or
loves
not
eavesdropping?
It depends on whether or not Aldrami sleep soundly inside of human dwellings.
I don't think Fotov's lurking outside people's tents. That's a little bit much.
Well, this would have been in the
Yeah.
chieftain's hall.
Yeah.
Still though.
And
Yeah.
you've been eavesdropping on everyone at every opportunity.
Yeah, but
don't
where's the
think it-
opportunity here? Like,
I think
Crowded
it's
room.
not unreasonable for me to be concerned about that.
I could.
I'm on Team Potov here. Potov is innocent. He's never done anything
To be
wrong.
fair, Putaf has shown some special interest in Gabayanga, so if something is going on there, I would expect Potaf to have eavesdropped on it. But
Potov,
okay, sure,
how,
fair enough.
how dare you slander? Potov's never done anything wrong. Go on.
No, never.
So Philomena's going to assume that Potov eavesdropped even though he didn't?
No, but she's worried. She's worried because she still doesn't know if he's waiting for the right opportunity to expose her and Garbayanga as horrible heretics and have them all eaten. She doesn't know, okay? She really does not know.
So, if nobody's eavesdropping, then
Good.
the group has a simple question for the next day's journey.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get to the leaping place falls in the early afternoon. You're going to travel on the safer east bank of the river or the potentially more dangerous west bank.
Why would we take the more
Or
dangerous one?
reverse that. The west bank is the safer. That's the way facing
Yeah,
the parents.
it's the other way around.
But why would
east
we
is,
take the
more
dangerous one?
dangerous.
Which incentive do we have?
Your thing,
Yeah.
probably. Gabaryanga's
The thing that
probably.
only you and Gabaryanga know about would be the only real reason.
Yeah, I don't think that's an easy sell at this point to the group. That's my main concern. We could
it's
bring
easy
it
to sell
out.
to
and say-
Potov mystical weirdness, but you just have to bring it up.
Oh my god!
Like
Again,
it's up to you exclusively, Philomena.
I know why you would say that, but she has literally no reason to tell Potov about any of this. He
Then
needs
she
to get
doesn't.
the duck's trust.
Then
He does not have the duck's trust. I will not say anything.
Then we're probably
this
gonna take the West Bank, unless Gabaryanga decides to say something.
Nope, he won't.
Yeah, no, he specifically said he doesn't want it to be a big deal at this point, and
No,
I
I
think,
mean, on the trip, if the feeling comes up again, I mean.
of course, if it comes up, but he said there was no urgency in it, and he seemed uncomfortable with the idea of making it a big deal at this juncture, so Philomena will respect his feelings on that. She has great reverence for him. She has no reason to distrust his judgment. So
No.
we'll keep that in mind. He said there's no urgency, so hopefully we didn't just miss an awesome like plot beat or something. Please, Theo.
No disrespect to Cacti, but the West Bank will be easier on Cacti, who isn't, again, quite used to traveling rough. So Surma will stay where it will be easier for her sister, who is still getting used to adventuring.
See,
I
I'm
mean,
just
it's-
thinking about this, like I have played too many RPGs with branching paths where you like miss out on cool like optional stuff if you don't listen to all the weird things at all times. So hopefully that didn't just happen.
It's
that I
fine.
locked myself out of something. Cool.
It's fine. Going down that path would have just unlocked Pierre, and he fucking sucks. We're fine.
So
Do you know what I mean, though?
uh,
Zeal, please bring
the
this
West-
up again later when it's cool.
Yeah.
Please, thanks.
the west side is more developed. There's more farmsteads dotting the banks of the river. And though the journey is more pleasant than yesterday, with the nice wind out of the south coming behind you, it is not particularly eventful. It's a pleasant ride along the riverbank through early summer to now, early this morning, well, not that early, but this morning, I spent a good few minutes looking for various extravagant waterfalls. And I gotta admit, it was really very relaxing. Highly recommended. Just Google big waterfalls, and there's many wonderful things to see. But I couldn't really find anything that quite matches what the leaping place is supposed to look like. This is the closest I got.
Oh, look at this. Ooh, that looks beautiful.
But the leaping place is 500 feet tall.
I have.
That's
That sounds great.
That picture I posted is the basic idea. There's this 500-foot waterfall that emerges from time-worn sandstone cliffs and descends into a beautiful crystal blue pool, which is the basin from which the Zolafell begins to flow south.
So are we already at the leaping place now?
Yes, you arrive at the leaping place in the early afternoon. You see this this vista from relatively far off.
Because
It's
that was,
500 foot tall.
There was something I was hoping to do on the journey to the leaping place.
Well, you're still a few miles out by the time you can
Yeah.
see it. So, what do you want to do?
Sarah seemed really interested in the local masonry and architecture. Like, she specifically asked me to take a look at it, so I'm guessing that's important for some reason. So Talak is going to tell their findings in elaborate detail to Surma. Sort of, yes, it's really quite fascinating how humans approach building stuff when there's no Mastali hand to properly guide them. They just make bricks out of literal mud. It's. I feel like it says something about the nature of humans as a whole. What do you think of this? What's your take on this?
She smiles down at them. Like, I think she's up on Ferio. I don't know if Ferio's tall, so I'm pretty sure, and Surma's taller than Talak in general, so she's gonna be above them anyway. But so she looks down slightly at Talak. It's not like a contemptuous thing. It's just she's taller and smiles. And says, "Well, I've had a couple thoughts about it, real quick. One other thing, like, shelter makes us feel good. It makes us feel safer. And so anytime we find a place where we feel like we can settle down and make a life for ourselves, shelter is one of the first things we secure to just make us feel safe and make us feel good. It's create a home, so to speak. And that might be a little weird for you if you've always had a home, but we just basically make homes where we are, if that can make sense to you."
Yes. My home was always the city of New Parvis, but I spent many years not actually living in my home.
Mhm.
because of the lunar invasion. We were forced to flee and travel elsewhere across the land. So, but I always had the sense that Pavis was still my home, even if I couldn't be there. You're saying that humans don't have this?
For many humans, and myself included, home is more of a sentiment than an actual physical place. We have this mantra: "Home is where the heart is." Some of us actually believe that, and so we're fine with traveling away from the places where we had our roots, humans, and going elsewhere to try and reestablish ourselves and spread that sentiment elsewhere. It's just kind of this drive that many of us have. I don't want to say all of us. I would be caution you against applying such things to the whole, but many of us, myself included, are that way. Especially nomads like myself, who we just kind of go around and make our beds where we can.
But you still have a concept of home, but it's not linked to a single place.
It's more linked to an ideal or a feeling, yeah. For me,
Oh,
and
very
for
odd.
many. And one of the things I especially like about the more permanent structures that we build, which is what you saw in that town, is the way in which we build it. The way we make the stones that you've seen, the clay stones, and how we build it and construct it in such a way as it insulates heat and keeps us comfortable while allowing cool to also come in. How it moderates temperature just on its own to keep us comfortable. We're very what's the word, sensitive to the elements. We're soft. So the fact that we found this way just through construction and the way we make our bricks to make our homes so that they keep us cool while keeping us warm just the right amount is something I find really neat, and it's a blessing from the earth that it even allows us to do this.
That's remarkably impressive method of temperature control. I would not have thought humans, especially such unambitious humans as those that would live just in a small town on that as Bulford, be so ingenious as to discover this.
She smiles, but your insight is valued. I think dwarves just have a different priorities than humans, right? That's what I'm seeing here, and both are
Yes,
fine.
I mean, we have purpose, and that makes everything different for us.
She smiles and nods in understanding. I think it's fascinating too, and I'm looking forward to learning more about dwarves from you.
Bonding via architecture, you love to see it.
Philomenia, do you do any Israelia worshipping on the side? Because I feel like there has to be a secret cave behind that waterfall with treasure inside it.
I would not be knowledgeable about such matters, no. And I'm not sure why you would think that way.
Because the goddess of buried treasure is the mother of Ronaldo?
I love treasure.
DuckTales.
She's a little young to be in the Australia cult, I think.
I don't know how old ducks are.
Inside duck.
It's like, do it.
Okay, a little context.
Mhm.
For the last couple hours of your ride, the farmsteads have fallen away. The road was paved for the first half of the day, but for the last hour or two, it's just a dirt track. There still is a track, and it looks like it goes all the way to the falls and even beyond in a switchback up the sides of the valley. But it's much less developed. You haven't seen any farmsteads in a while by the time you come within sight of the falls. There is activity, though. There are a few river boats, some pulled by humans, some by ducks and newts, There is an open-air temple at the foot of the falls to either side with a stone statue of Zolafel, like a bigger, more grandiose version of the wooden one at the Pavis docks, sitting beneath the waterfall, pointing with his top right hand directly down the course of the river, south towards the sea. As you draw near the falls, everybody give me a luck roll. POW times 5.
Okay.
How times 5?
Potav?
I'll do that in just a minute. I'm making a note of
Talk
something,
to-
a conversation I want to have with Talak and like later.
Not Talak. Okay.
But I got a very nice failure.
Yeah.
Yes,
POW
it's a very
times
nice
5?
failure. Failing with style.
How
It-
times
it's-
5?
Yeah, it's POW times 5.
So 50 for me.
Okay. Now, POW times 5. Let me look at my sheet. Sorry about the wait. Just wanted
I
to make
failed.
Okay.
I'm not doing so great on rolls today.
POW
Jesus.
12. Okay, so 12.
At least I impressed the chieftain. That's all that really matters.
60.
It's 60.
Yeah, thank you. I did the math. Thank you.
I assume Server's gonna fail because everyone knows Potov and Cacti are the lucky ones in this
I
fight.
did.
Yep.
Yes! Exactly how the dice rolls always shake out.
Jeez.
Okay. The rest of you are. The rest of you. It's a beautiful vista, and it's probably very important to water types. But those of you who failed, you're not water types, and you don't feel any great spiritual resonance with it. But Kakti and Potav, as you draw nearer to the falls with the ultimate intention of turning around and heading south, you feel, how do I put it, a burgeoning sense of potential. As though that act of getting to the falls and turning around and heading south would be of significant resonance and consequence. What you do with that sense of the situation is up to you, but you get the impression that the method by which you visit the falls, turn back, and head south will matter in a way that's difficult to define.
Can I go ask the Newtling about this, since he's a priest of Zolafel?
Your boat newt is not a priest, but he is an initiate with pretty good cult lore. It's his father that's the priest. But yeah.
Right, yeah.
Gloof is, he's there with the boat, which is tethered to the rhinoceros. And as you explain this feeling, he nods. He says, "Yes, yes. We know this feeling well.
Is it common?
Not common, but it occurs. When our god, the river, turned back, he ventured on a great quest to the depths of the oceans to help great Magasta war with chaos. The cleansed one, the one you seek. Well, you've heard the story of how they threw themselves into the river to drown themselves when they became aware of what they were as a chaos creature. But Zolafel preserved them and gave them the power to breathe underwater. Then the cleansed one retraced Zolafel's path from falls, down to the mouth at the ocean, and then deeper still into the ocean. Every initiate of the river must at least once travel its full length, going to the falls and then down to the sea. You are not of Zolafel, but you have completed the first step of his journey. You have traveled north to the leaping place, and you plan to turn south.
Are there any other ritual steps or offerings we should make?
We do go with the purpose of fighting Oblivion.
Magasta, well, Zolafel turns south to aid Magasta. You're not of Zolafel, but as you say, you go to fight chaos. So make offerings for protection against chaos here, in Zolafel's name. Maybe your powers will hear it and answer.
Alright. As we approach, can I examine the waterfall and roll spirit lore to see if there's a great big spirit of this place?
Sure.
Alright. I used my moon augment already, so... Keep thinking, does anybody else have anything else they want to do?
Well, Kaki is gonna make her offerings. The idea would be to craft some wooden axes, since they are meant to be offerings for combat.
That would be an extremely appropriate offering, yeah. Give us a shaping roll, augmented, however you think is appropriate.
Would I deliver them to the temple themselves, or would I just offer them to the river itself? What would be more appropriate?
If you ask Gloof, Hugh says, if you want to offer it to the river itself, I can pull you to the center of the pool. That is where we would do it.
Alright. I will, if the boat looks like it can take Kaki's weight, Kaki will take up that offer.
Okay, I'm gonna try to roll water. It's not high, but YOLO.
Sure. It can't affect the roll.
Aw.
And it's not a fumble. So, but yeah, spirit lore.
Oh.
Well, I'm not the shaman here. So,
I'm actually curious myself. I want to roll water as well to augment.
I mean, I wasn't tuned into this whole situation, so should I even bother rolling as the resident?
it's a big, like, significant place. Anywhere like
do it?
that would have spirits.
Well, you see,
should I
wow,
still do it?
Cafty, dang! I mean,
It's
I
just a
think,
wood shape roll.
I think, Philomena, you can at least see Potov and Cacti trying to horse around and do spirit stuff, and you might want to, that might pique your curiosity and ask them.
So what exactly? Just spirit lore or anything else?
Yeah.
It's up to you. If you want to know more about the spirits of the area, spirit lore would be the thing to roll.
I would definitely like to. That's my whole thing.
What do you want to augment with?
I mean, this is a place that seems to be very spiritually. What do you think would be suitable in this situation?
I mean, the water rune, if you have it.
I do, but mine is pretty shit.
You could also check your lores or your passions, see if you have something relevant.
And spirit lore is what I'm thinking of. I'm just thinking what to augment it with.
No,
Well,
I'm saying
yeah,
for
that's what he suggested. Do you have any passions that would be relevant?
You
No.
you could augment it with loyalty to the White Bull. That's what I would recommend, because you're trying to do this to make him look good.
I would think that would make sense, yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure. He is my teacher, and I want to make sure I'm using his teachings correctly. My loyalty to the White Bull right now is 61.
Argrith has been very clear in your lessons.
Wow, you're real
Learn
loyal
best
to the
by
White
doing.
Bull.
And you get plus
Does-
30 to spirit lore from your loyalty to him.
Does my special success do anything of use with the passion?
Well, check it, yeah. You'll be able
Good.
to...
But the fact that it was a special, I mean.
That's why it's plus 30 instead of plus 20.
Ah, right. Okay. Sorry, I'm not great with numbers, so. I will not always remember which number was when and where. 1 second.
And a critical is 50, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so my spirit lore is 50.
So 80. Pretty good chance.
With modifier, that's +5, so it's 85. Oh my god,
Ah.
I use Vibrio.
At least it
Oh.
wasn't
No.
a fumble.
Oh, I'm doing so piss poor today.
The dolphin spirit must still be interfering with its, flipping its life around. You're like, I can't tell.
Okay, so everyone seems to be standing around trying to commune with
Yeah,
the waterfall. I think Talek's just gonna try and join in out of a weird sense of curiosity.
Is there nothing else we can do? Like, I would have.
in lieu of an offering,
I'm the
Potov
whole
is going.
spirit person here. Is there nothing I can do?
Potov is going to compose a poem to the falls, and also one with some anti-chaos sort of fuck.
Okay,
Some
so
anti-chaos metaphors or whatever. So I'm going to augment with my hatred of Lunar Empire, because we're acting against the Lunar Empire here.
Makes sense.
Ah.
Alright, failure on the augment, but my writing is very high, so...
Success.
So yeah, I'm
Alright.
going to write it down on a piece of parchment, and I'm going to push the parchment down into the pool here.
Yes. The wooden Potov and Cacti are pulled out by Gloof into the center of the reservoir pool beneath the Leaping Place Falls, and you offer your respective offerings to the river, and they disappear into the crystal waters and sink immediately. Even the paper just sinks into the darkness and out of sight.
Surma this whole time has just been hovering anxiously and protectively at the river's edge, worried that maybe Cacti might get pulled in, or Cacti's really clumsy, or she falls all the time. Surma's just like hovering anxiously with her rope in her hands, like just ready, just in case Cacti falls out of the boat, or some weird water bullshit happens to her.
She's partially made of wood. Surely
Yeah.
she float.
But additionally, Surma doesn't know shit about communing with spirits. She knows a whole lot about stabbing them with spears, but nothing about any sort of spirit nonsense. So yeah, she has no idea what's going on.
Yeah. There's no dramatic, immediate effect from the offerings, but Potov and Cacti, you both already felt the charge of this moment. And you feel as though you're aligned to it now. Your journey is now resonating with Zola Fell's journey. As you journey south, you're going to be tied to that mythic journey the river god made, which could make it important to learn about that journey.
okay, so everyone is standing around doing weird attempted spirit insight, and Talak doesn't quite know what's going on, but they're going to join in their own way. So what I'd like to do is do an earth sense and augment it with the water rune to get sort of a sense of what this basin is doing in a geological sense.
Sure.
Okay. Let's roll.
Nice.
All right, success on the augment. Check your water rune.
Yeah, so would this be earth sense search or scan? I always forget which is which.
Search is up close, scan is at a distance.
In that case, it's probably going to be scan if I'm taking a look at. Like,
Yeah,
the whole.
if you're trying to take in the basin as a whole, that makes sense, yes.
Okay, so 20.
Ah.
Nope.
At least it wasn't a fumble, but
Well,
jeez.
yeah, it wasn't a fumble, and you got to check your water rune. But yeah, reaching out with your earth sense, well, for one thing, you can only reach into what's beneath the water, right? And as you reach beneath the water, well, you feel the mounting pressure of the collected water. And you feel how it's I'd say even through a failure, you feel a baseline enmity between the water and the earth. This was the end point of Zolafell's march into the inland, after all, which was the attempted conquest of water by the earth. So you feel a certain amount of metaphysical friction as you try to reach out into one of the hearts of the river. Now, we're towards the end of the session.
Mm-hmm.
I have one major question.
Mm-hmm.
It's early afternoon when you get to the river, and let's say Potov did some writing and Kakti did some crafting, so let's say that takes you relatively well into the afternoon. Do you plan to camp out around the falls, or start heading south a bit before sunset?
I actually want to get Garbayanga's thoughts on if it would be
Yeah,
technically
me
sound.
too.
Yeah, so I'm gonna head over and see what Garbayanga thinks. I like the aesthetics of these falls and they feel nice, but is it tactically sound to just camp here, or should we move further away, Garbayanga?
I want to know if his feeling is still here. The one we discussed, just like, I will ask him, that obviously in private.
Yeah, Surma isn't approaching him out of any out of character knowledge that I have. Surma's doing it because she likes to get everybody's opinion. I'm going to ask everybody, just so you're clear, what their opinion
Garbayanga
is.
has demonstrated experience
Yeah.
with travel and military campaigns.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense. And he mostly just concurs with what Kakti has already established, that we're already on the safer side of the river. If
Mhm.
we choose to camp here, camping on this side of the falls would be much safer than trying to camp on the other side.
Mhm.
And I don't think camping here would be much more dangerous than camping anywhere else. Any nomads that would be bold enough to try to attack us here would certainly also try to attack us if we were camped just a few miles further south.
Philomena definitely wants to. She's not happy that she feels like there's something going on here, but she's not spiritually in tune with it yet. So she would, if there was the opportunity to do so, use the respite to try to do that. So she's in favor of camping here. Also, she wants to check in with Garbayanga on his feeling again because she's very curious.
Hi,
She's very curious.
I'm about to be very rude. First, I'm going to augment with truth. I'm going to incite drama. There's some drama going on with Philomena. I want to figure out what it is.
This seems like an appropriate use of that very...
Sure.
Oh, I actually succeeded
You
it!
feel she's holding a secret? Is that it?
Yeah, there's something going on here between her and Garbayanga, and I can sense it.
Oh, Baba. That's the one time any of us is succeeding at anything.
Does that 18 include the truth augment?
It did not.
Alright. So your total was 38.
Yeah, 38.
In that case, that's probably a special, right?
That's what I'm checking. Yes, it is a special. It's not
Oh,
a
wow.
crit, but it's a special. And yeah, on the basis of that,
What
I
are you
will say
asking?
that Surma is not privy to Philomena asking the question, but
Mhm.
she picks up on the sort of tension or expectation between Philomena and Garbayanga before she goes to ask. So they are there's something going on between them, but you don't get the context.
Yeah,
You do get that it's business, not personal, exactly.
Yeah, this is definitely my thoughts on inside drama. We were joking about how exactly it would play out. Is that Surma starts just kind of has this intuition that there's drama going on, and she can kind of get a basic read of that there's something going on, and however much information you want to give me to that effect is satisfactory. So yeah, this is good. So yeah, there's something juicy going on here, and the town gossip has picked up on it.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh boy.
You detected drama, and since it's a special, you detect drama with the tag occult drama.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
There's something
So-
like more spiritual happening here, and
So-
it's interesting.
So Surma's not gonna pry. She wants to respect Philomena's privacy with Garbayanga, so she'll just thank Garbayanga for his advice. But then she's gonna rush right over to Potov because Potov was spy.
Because he's the eavesdropping expert.
Yep. And she's going to ask his advice on whether or not we should camp here. But also, hey, guess what, Potov? You should go listen in on Philomena and Gabrianga for me.
Is that the amount of subtlety you're gonna use for that?
No, I don't, but I'm really bad at intrigue.
Well, I think camping here would be a good idea, but I'm not exactly a sneaky person. I don't have high height or whatever, or high listen, so not sure what my plan would be there.
I think
Is
roleplay.
Ally anywhere near this conversation?
Sure, you can be. You and Cacti can both be near this if you want to be.
Cacti's probably too distracted by actually considering whether or not they should camp or not. The spiritual things that happen to Podov and Cacti, or at least for Cacti's sense, Cacti would probably want to start the journey.
Oh,
now that she's in
I
tune
forgot
with
to
it.
mention earlier, but in contrast to the vibe rather that Talak got from reaching out into this vicinity, Kakti, this is a place that is very friendly to Aldria.
Oh.
It's the greenest place you've been since leaving the garden, probably. This immediate vicinity around the reservoir. It's
No
as
wonder
nice
it
as
does.
any oasis.
No wonder
You
they-
get the sense that this is a place where the plant power is welcome in a way that the earth and Mostali power is very much not.
Ew, plant power.
I just realized something. I need to change what I do. I don't think Surma actually knows that Potov listens in on things because she hasn't caught him actually being a sneaky spy who listens
Nobody's
in on
caught
things.
him.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I actually can't be a shit starter in character. Let me take that back. I'm sorry. I was acting on out of character knowledge. So I'll Surma.
Fine, I didn't do it anyways.
Yeah,
so.
all Surma really can do is tell Potov, ask him his opinion on whether or not he thinks it's right, and also hand-wring a little bit that she thinks something like there's something going on with Philomena. It just still confide that in him, like Philomena. There's some weird stuff, like weird energy with Philomena and Garbayanga. I don't think
Alright,
it's
but yes, this place feels safe.
Yeah.
Feels like a nice place to camp.
yeah. Thanks. And then she'll get away because you're near that gross fucking horse and go talk to somebody else.
All right. Since the balance of opinion seems to be on camp, and
Yeah.
if you ask them, Varish and the other riders don't have any good
Yeah.
arguments against it. This is good grazing. Best
Yeah.
grazing we've been through today.
Yeah, Fario's loving it. Sables can graze basically anywhere, the book says. So yeah, Fario's
And
living it up.
let's end on a cliffhanger,
Yeah.
Oh.
because the answer when Philomena and Gabaryanga are off a little away from the camp you guys set up near the riverbank is that yes, I still have the feeling, Philomena. And it is closer than it was yesterday.
And I feel we should pursue it. It might be prudent to the mission, after all.
I mean, if it's getting closer, you probably don't need to.
Yeah, that's literally what Kabayanga says. I don't think we'll need to pursue anymore.
It's almost like you're being pursued.
So it's
We should stop here, but yeah.
no, this is the last bit.
Okay.
It's Clay Day.
Mm-hmm.
It's the night of Clay Day. Nano, what's the moon like?
One second, let me check the calendar. It would be coming crescent.
Right. So it's pretty dark. There's just the red sliver up there and the stars. And then in the west, in the east, on the other side of the reservoir from you, you feel a tremor beneath your feet. Well, you do and you don't. It's strange because the ground doesn't move. There's no physical reverberation. Yet you feel a tremor anyway. A regular tremor, a thud, thud, thud. And out in the east,
It's not Quim,
over
I hope.
over the lip of the ridge beyond which is the high desert plateau, you see a faint glow, a blue glow that Philomena and Potov have seen before.
Oh.
And lumbering slowly and majestically over the lip of the ridge is a gigantic blue elephant with silver crescent curved tusks that is slowly lumbers down towards the reservoir to extend its trunk and drink. And that's what we'll end on, a
Nice.
gigantic blue elephant appearing to drink at the reservoir on the night of Clay Day.
Jeez.
That sounds
Okay.
pretty awesome.
All right. I'm gonna stop recording, but I'm gonna actually resolve all of my level ups before I leave for tonight. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
See ya.